You're watching Women's College Lacrosse on ESPN as today, for the first time in 5 weeks, Fairfield Women's Lacrosse comes home, and for the first time at home this season, a league matchup as they welcome in Marist College. Take a look at the updated standings coming into this game, as there's been already 3 games in action earlier today. Siena improving to a 3-0 record. They lead the conference. Fairfield opened up league play on Wednesday with a victory over Iona by 15 goals to 9. Marist still searching for their first league win of 2023. Hey everybody, JJ Duke here with you, and for Marist College, who have been struggling over the last few weeks. This is in fact their 5th and final game of their road trip. They've lost all of them thus far, but a player that's certainly looking to try and turn things around on the offensive front is the outstanding attacker in Carrie Gutenberger. The senior from Stony Point, New York, registered her 6th hat trick of the season on Wednesday in a loss to Siena. However, Gutenberger, someone that certainly has been steady throughout the season, currently ranking inside the top 10 in the MAAC in goals and points per game. And if she can get herself going early, the rest of the team certainly will be looking to follow. For Fairfield, it's certainly just scoring by committee, but someone that's actually been the main focal point of facilitating is Olivia Duty. Duty, the senior from Newtown, Pennsylvania, 4 assists in a 6-point performance on Wednesday against Iona, ranking inside the top 5 in the league in assists per game coming into today. And Duty already on 27 points this season. When we come back, we'll have opening draw as it's Marist and Fairfield next on ESPN3. Rush, they do anyways, but Collins with a save. Duty looking for Toledo, wide open, she scores.
In front, Fairfield puts it away again. Four straight for Fairfield, your 2022 MAAC Women's Lacrosse Champions.
With Riley Harrell getting the draw. Harrell, the junior from Newtown, Connecticut, who set a program record back on the March the 4th against Vermont, where she secured 11 draw controls, her first. She averages 5 per game. Fairfield as a team average 15. And it will be the Stags to get things going here offensively, a unit that averages over 13.5 goals per game, as Greffin set into the middle, and Fairfield get the opening goal. Elizabeth Toledo, a little beautiful touch pass in front, and Toledo, coming off of a very good game on Wednesday at Iona, continues on her good goal-scoring form. That is now her 29th goal of the season. She had 3 points in the midweek game, and Greffin set a beautiful little feed from low to high. Yeah, we highlighted Olivia Duty in the open in terms of the main facilitator, but it's really kind of that two-pronged attack from behind the cage. Duty has 15 assists, but Greffenstedt also now with 9, and that's not to forget as well Libby Rowe, who will also be sharing the ball a lot. Rowe, who's 4th in the league in assists per game at a little over 1 3/4. Currently on 16 helpers this season, but that's exactly what you want if you're Fairfield. Get a quick opener and just set the tone. Who missed early part of the season due to injuries, had a good chance there, could not convert. Duty in the middle, that pass knocked down. Fairfield loves to run action away from the post, usually intended for Greffenstedt at that 5'9" frame. In essence, she kind of slam dunks home passes. So Fairfield not able to cash in on one player advantage, but a turnover here, Greffenstedt in front, and she scores. Well, you can't give away 2 player advantages. At least you got one in there, and Ellie Greffenstedt, after the great riding pressure from Elizabeth Toledo, go back in front. You're going to see here Miranda Lopes, after her defense came up with an early stop, just put her teammate in all sorts of trouble. As Juliana Palumbo not able to handle that pass, and look at the composure there of Greffenstedt. Able to outfox the goalie and put it away. No pun intended. Possession to Marist, but yeah, Fort can do a lot of work on both ends of the ball in the midfield. Already 6 points this year in 5 games. Another turnover there leads to a chance for Toledo, who scores. Marist having all sorts of problems just getting out of their own defensive area, and the Stags once again cash in on the turnover. As the crease violation allowed Greffenstedt to force pressure. In fact, Marist is going to call a timeout here. And Toledo with a nifty finish in front to give her second tally of the day. We'll step aside here. Fairfield leads 3-1 early on in the first. In this game, Fairfield are getting themselves into some good scoring positions, but the Marist goalie is made some nice saves, but another turnover and a clearing attempt leads to a 2-on-2. Toledo scores! Well, there's nothing you could do there if you are Miranda Lopes in goal. You're doing your job. The defense is just having an absolute nightmare in clearing, and Fairfield are cashing in on these extra chances. It's also a large part of Fairfield's riding pressure. It's really those two right there, Greffenstedt and Toledo, forcing the issue. Toledo picking up her first quarter hat trick. In fact, she's either scored or assisted on all 4 goals. Greffenstedt has had her hand in 3. Toledo, another one of those players that got her 100th career point earlier this season. This is a player that's coming off of a 48-goal season 1 year ago. And a player that burst onto the scene in the 21 MAAC tournament. Came on in the MAAC semifinals after hardly playing at all that season, scored a hat trick against Niagara. And ever since then, she cannot be taken out of this lineup, though, and ironically enough, she's actually not even in the starting lineup, but she's one of those that just comes in immediately on every offensive possession. As Nicolette LaVista, the Rowe, back with Toledo. Cross to Kozak, who scores! What a feed that was across the field to find Amanda Kozak, and Fairfield get another goal scorer in this one. Already had 5 in this game, now making a half dozen. Now, this is a large credit to Toledo there. Draws the late slide, and Kozak says, well, you already know where I'm going to be, so just put it there and I'll do the rest. Great finish. And the one thing we should also say here at Rafferty Stadium is because of the lower setting sun behind us, any pass from near to far in the field, it's going to be tough for any player to go and catch it. It's just going to find right into that setting sun. And Kozak did so well, as you're seeing her chatting with Jen Pareto, one of the assistants, as well as Coach Laura Field. This time Marist doing a better job of getting back in transition, but Fairfield still just 2 quick outlet passes, and they gain the clear. Greffenstedt can keep going here. She has Toledo in the middle, who dunks that one home. Elizabeth Toledo, her 4th. Ellie Greffenstedt, have yourself a day. That's 8 points in just the first half, and the Stags now lead by 9. We'll step aside back in a moment as the Stags are running in this one. Greffenstedt with 8 points. Toledo has herself 4 goals. There you go. As we're under a minute 40 left in this second quarter. Again, the Stags in running clock, and they'll get one more as Duty dodging from behind the cage. Her 4th goal of the afternoon. The Stags up now comfortably 15-3. Toledo picking up yet another assist. That is her 3rd. It's her 7th point. With Greffenstedt now 8.
Assisted by number 30, Elizabeth.
And now for Marist, I mean, they're just counting down the seconds to get into the locker room, mostly for their defensive unit to get a breather, because you can only imagine what it's like right now to just have wave after wave after wave of attack basically being shoved right down their throat.
Points last season against the Gales, already at 4. We're not even at halftime. We still have just over 6.5 minutes to go until halftime. It's just so tough when you're facing a squad as deep as Fairfield are, especially offensively. One of the deepest squads in the nation.
Toledo puts it past Votto. Back-to-back goals for the Stags. It's an 8-2 game, and now a 6-goal lead for Fairfield, their largest of the game so far.
And that will do it for Sophia Votto as well. We had not mentioned Toledo's name so far. She finds the bottom corner to finally score her 26th of the season, and that forces a change for the Gales as Lauren Sweeney is coming in net. This a goalkeeping situation which really is 1A and 1B for the Iona Gales, and Coach Lauren Kahn mentioned it coming into this when we were talking to her that she likes both of her goalkeepers.
Now Sweeney comes in. 7th appearance of the season for the freshman from Derry, New Hampshire, Lauren Sweeney.
Can hold on in the second half.
Foul called against number 13 for the Gales, the junior Lauren Cleaver. So now Elizabeth Toledo has a free position chance for Fairfield. Toledo scores. And the Stags strike first in the second half. It's a 9-4 game.
Both goalies made some good saves to start the half, but there's not much that you can do when Elizabeth Toledo is coming towards you. Now, good job getting under the stick of Kira Verada and then finding a spot where she could beat Lauren Sweeney. And this Stags team now have scored a couple of free position goals. A team that came into today just under 60% when they were given their opportunities and limited times from the 8-meter, but there's a reason you don't want to give that to them. They're so efficient.
How about this? The senior Elizabeth Toledo has now scored 2 or more goals in all 9 games this season for Fairfield. 27th on the year Toledo just put in. Burst onto the scene last season with a team-high 48 goals, also had 22 assists, led the team in goals and points. And that was really her breakout season. 2021, she played just 6 games, had 4 goals, and then last season scores 48 of them. This season, she's picked up right where she left off last.
I mean, it just says a lot about the squad depth of Fairfield that they'll graduate players, and then the next season they'll have a breakout player, another breakout player. And, of course, the COVID years that we've seen have allowed some of these players to come back for their grad seasons to continue with this program onto even better and better things. Do anything, and you want to give them time, but you can't force a pass like that. You can't force it. You need to take your time as long as it takes, because you can't give another offensive possession to Fairfield.
Toledo gets around Carreri, gets her hands free, and bounces it past Sweeney. Elizabeth Toledo with a hat trick on the afternoon. It's now 12-4 Fairfield.
Our pregame player to watch for the visitors, and she has shown exactly why. Although she only scored 2 goals, in her last game against Sacred Heart, she has just been one of these players that no matter what you do, it is tough to shut her down. Now up to 28 goals this season and another hat trick for her. 2 times this year she has scored 4 goals in a single game. So she's looking to do that again.
Again, the senior Toledo has scored 2 or more goals every game this season for Fairfield. Got up to over 100 career goals earlier this season. And the Stags offense looks polished in game 1 of their MAAC schedule.
And that's why you test yourself against some of the best teams. You want to make a really hard schedule because you know if you win another MAAC title, you're probably playing another ACC team this year, a Big Ten team, or one of these teams that are ranked amongst the top because, unfortunately, the MAAC isn't respected as much as it should be in terms of where you're going for the NCAA tournament. So you need to test yourself. They did. It's why they're 5-3, even though that might not look like a great record. It tested them to a point where they can play like this in conference season.